creation story. You know, a lot of people, they look to their Bible for a creation story, and like the Adam and Eve, like God just poof, and they were there. You know, it's eventually there must have been at some point where the one energy, the cosmos, the God created something from nothing. Right? So that aspect of this creation, my mind can't touch upon, uh, especially if we're trying to use physical worlds to explain something like that. However, I do see the Adam and Eve story as a true story. It backs up the Sumerian story, and same with like the Gilgamesh story and the floods. Like there's a lot of old stories that are much older than the Bible, or they're the same stories of the Bible, right? They've just been, let's say, changed or represented different. You know, like I think there can be lots of reasons why we'd have different interpretations for different times. You know, so I think about, you know, poof, Adam and Eve are there, right? Well, I kind of see it. It seems more true, the Sumerian version of the story, that a higher beings, let's just say higher consciousness and higher intellect and scientific and spiritual capabilities, actually did have in some development in human. You know, the stories we're looking at now is about 300 to 330,000 years ago, was in South Africa, is where we've kind of found our oldest civilizations. And I think about the story of Adam and Eve, or Adamu and I forget, her name might have been Eve also. However, the whole point of this is that, imagine, for example, here's the Earth, right? And we have on this side of the Earth, or this side, whatever, we have a advanced civilization, right? But they've only colonized this area, right? Over here, we have another civilization that is thousands of years, maybe even 5 to 10,000 years behind this civilization, right? And if we wanted to, this is likely, if we're looking at something within this time period, then I suggest that if you just had a ship that just dropped down right here, and and you've never seen it like that before, then what would you would see something like this, right? You would be like, well, there's a flying ship, because we see lots of pyramid ships. People are seeing a lot of pyramid ships right now, right? And sure, it could come from a planet way far away, you know. And I do think that there was a time that happened. I believe that we are interplanetary species. And I do think we developed a way to, over generations, to get to Earth, right? And I don't know if I can see the truth in the long circle. I do believe that we do have long circles, and there's probably stars over here that could cause heat, but wouldn't there be some dead zones as it loops way out, right? And that's the idea of this planet that the Sumerians came from. Well, I do believe if we did come here from then, one day we came from another planet. However, to me, if we look at the Amazon rainforest, where there's tribes that are literally just wearing leaves and hunting with spears, right, and have never seen technology before, right? That happens right now in this world. They have pictures of them looking up and being like, "Wow, what is this? What is this plane?" Right? And they're all amazed by this plane. Well, doesn't that seem like a same story as back in the day, you know? And if there was that advanced species back then I suggest that they're still here, right? But, you know, either underneath the ocean, or somewhere where we just can't see them, or where, and I believe that they work with our government, you know. And I believe that, you know, there might have been a time when they didn't have much power for whatever reason, where because we were kind of left alone, it seems to me, and not really had really good contact with them for whatever reason, and they trusted that the ruling powers were let's say, governing in a fair manner. But as I believe that they're back now, and they've always had people here, but they haven't had direct communication to see exactly what's going on. And so now that they're like, whenever there was pathological things in the past that they could tell was dangerous, regardless of language, like nuclear capabilities and such, that's when they got involved and started to, interfere with the governing powers, right? So I believe that there is transmissions between worlds too. So that's one idea of how humans got here. What if there is just another planet that's a long, long ways away? Because we know that we're tethered by these energies to the entire cosmos, right? What if there was like ways of harnessing transmission through things like stones? And I believe in this. Not in just stones, but through plant medicines and through meditation and fasting. We get to down to our deeper nature, and then we can draw intelligence, wisdom, spirit from these other worlds, okay? So maybe the people on this world are just humans, a lot of them, that are creating these amazing technologies, but they are connected through their spirit, through their third eye, to that other realm, and they're downloading information because of their, I hope, because of their virtue. And that makes me think about how the technology has gone crazy in the last little while, especially like evil technology, and I believe that has to do with two different things. There's fallen angels, and an example of an angel is, they're transmitting from this higher place, from these higher beings, higher spiritual and technological beings, and they're bringing it in, and they've learned so much from them, like almost all that they could learn, but then they are corrupted by lust or by, the flesh of this world, and the fact that we haven't evolved past those animal tendencies, right? So then that's why we have evil technology that seems like alien in sophistication, right? I do believe that this world has been taken over more by the flesh and the evil of this world, and less by external evils. And that I even believe that, I have a belief that the flesh is where we can find hell, right? And it's little to do with an evil spirit, because I almost feel like the spirit realm is benevolent. And when you are not connected to the spirit realm, right, which is connected to these higher beings and this higher understanding that they're connected to also, then you're connected to the flesh, or these five senses that we carry that are easily corruptible. So I think that you hear in the Bible about knowledge increasing, right? And that we're going to see this at the end days. We are seeing that. I believe that for whatever reason, this transmission has become very powerful from these species. And it's either from, I have a few different theories upon that, is that we have just flipped to a higher, or a different energy in the cosmos in general during this change in the star pattern, or into the age of Aquarius, and that energy became so powerful that they're numbing agents that they use, like the toxins in our environment, the weaponizing of electronics, all the stuff that it blocks out, that those transmissions are not powerful enough anymore to stop the transmission of the Creator or our connection to these other realms. So, that seems to be more the case to me, that that's where we have to look at why they're so adamant about getting people the blah 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 in their arm, and the 5G and all these kind of toxins, and all these kind of things that seem to be causing a block of the third eye and the block of the transmission. So because I'm talking about these like higher beings above us, and I'm not talking about the Lord, I'm talking about higher beings even in a physical realm somewhere else, right? I'm not talking about God. Right? So they were like the Sumerian gods. Like, no, I would say they're more like angels. An idea of an angel, or there's like archetypal angel energies, like, right? There's something we're bringing in. So God is the all, is to me. That's the cosmos. That's everything. That's every planet, every living thing on every planet, every energy that is ever made. That is the all. That is the God, right? And it breaks down into like archetypes of energies. And some people might even say that breaks down into like bloodlines on the planet, and maybe that was the case. Like maybe out of God there was fractaled out different energies, right, and different components, and then we manifested as different species down here. However, we have to know is we're not those singular species anymore, because once we became the one energy that is the earth, we started sharing cultural lineage and started sharing our blood lineage, and this is where the collective consciousness came together. So, the idea of guardian angels, I believe they are very real, right? And this might have something to do with some kind of like purgatory, or maybe not even purgatory, but just like a realm that's here that we are just not conscious of unless we really listen to our hearts, Knowledge is increasing. You can see it. We're at that point, unbelievably fast. And I'll tell you one thing that'll give you another example in more of my own knowledge increases. I had my Kundalini awakening, like a really powerful one, where it was like I was possessed by a new spirit, and this happened in December 2020. So and that was right when we went into the age of Aquarius. And I know a lot of people that had some amazing downloads in that time. Another woman, she was doing this ceremony. She didn't know why, but she had this ceremony she needed to do. She was doing it. She was up 3 nights having ceremonies. And I noticed like a lot of people having transcendent or metaphysical or like mystical experiences happening to them all at the same time, right? And I know that to me is an example of knowledge increasing. And I see it. A lot of people are falling for the fear and cognitive dissonance. And I do believe that they are having troubles battling through the toxins and the electromagnetic agents that they're using to block the transmission from the spirit realm. So I believe that this is going on, and I believe that there is a spirit war going on, and they're scared because people are getting the transmissions through all of their attempts at blocking it. So I suggest people spend a lot more time in nature right now, away from the cities, and more time meditating, and more time fasting, or plant medicines like third eye opening plant medicine, things that can help clear up the toxins of the world. And the mind is how we clear in the body. course, we cleanse the body by keeping it clean and keep the temple of our body, of course. However, it starts with the mind, so we have to become higher in our thinking. And the only way we can become truly loving and help this world is become fearless. And if we are following our phones and the perception that they are feeding us, we're going to go into fear. And fear is the main blocking agent from your third eye being attached to the Creator and to these other realms or intelligences. So there's two main things that motivate people: love and fear. If you're in fear, then you're not truly loving. It's hard to love if you're in fear because you're too scared to even put an energy out there, right? So the truth is with faith and believing, you can learn that there is magic out there, and then you know that there's nothing to worry about. You start to become fearless. When you become fearless, you can truly love. There's a lot of attempts at loving going on right now. People know that the world needs love. I would rather be feared by the general social consciousness that's going on. I'd rather be feared by that consciousness, because they're all just fractals of each other. I'd rather be feared by that consciousness than be loved by that consciousness. It's, if you are just loved, then as soon as it gets hard, you'll find out if you were actually truly loved. But if you are feared, then the ones that truly love you are the ones that know not to fear you, because you'll know who they are. Sounds dark, right? Fear. I'd rather be feared than loved. Yes, I would. These are chaotic times. We're dealing with very, very unconscious people that think they're conscious too, a lot of them, right? They think they understand what truth is. Try and have a long-form conversation with them about truth and see how far that gets. I want to be loved by those who deserve to be loved by me. And I'm not talking about the idea of non-dualism. I'm talking about acting out in our world, right? I love all. I love all so much that I dislike most humans because they don't act as if we are one together. And that's where what I'm talking about is I will love all. However, my energy, my actions, like actionable love, let's say, will be put on those that deserve it, and I'll deserve their love also, right? People fear truth, but truth is true love. Much love.